I'm a really big fan of football, but it didn't always start out that way. Originally, when I was younger, my dad and my older brother would watch football all the time. And it was sort of just something that was on in the background for me. It was always on TV. Honestly, I didn't even like it because I felt like, I could be watching cartoons or something else that just interested me more. But it's one of those things where, since it was on so much as a kid, I just began to get a lot of good memories associated with it and just become more and more invested in it as I grew up and began to understand really what was going on. And it's interesting because I remember a big moment in terms of me actually beginning to really appreciate football was when my family decided to go ahead and start doing sort of like a bracket pool where we would pick teams that would win games. And so every week we would go ahead and we would go and pick whatever team would win each of their respective games. And we just kept a big tally up on a chalkboard in our house. And it was all of my brothers, my dad, and I, all of us just competing against each other. Whoever would have the best score for that week would be announced the winner. And whoever had the worst would be announced the loser. And I think we would have them do just something, something stupid, something a little bit humiliating, but it was just so much fun. And that was kind of the start of me beginning to really develop an interest in football. I've never played before, but my older brother was really into it. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. area, about there. So I was a big fan of the Redskins once I really began to get invested in the sport. And fast forward a couple of years when I was in college. So my older brother had moved out of the house because he went off to school. And during that time, I didn't really watch a whole lot of football because it was very much, his thing. So even though I liked it, I wasn't really keeping up with it. But then I get to college and it was really interesting because I found that a lot of people hadn't had that experience of growing up seeing people play on TV. They didn't really know the rules. We would go to sporting games, we would actually see like our team play at UVA. And people would constantly be asking like, oh, what just happened? Like, what's a sack? How is a fumble? Like, I don't know. Oh, what are the rules around a fumble? Things like that. And I began to realize almost how special it was that I had that experience growing up. And the fact that I was really thankful that my older brother had been so into it and that he had taught me so much. And that was a cool thing to realize. That was a cool experience for me. And that just made me really begin to appreciate football even more. And to the point now where I actively look forward to watching it each week. I've gone into playing fantasy football with my friends, which is so much fun. Highly recommend it to anyone out there who has ever had someone invite them to it or has just kind of thought about it. It really is a lot of fun to do, and you get so into it week to week. But yeah, I'm just trying to say that I really appreciate football now, and it hasn't always been that way. It's been cool. It's been a constant in my life since growing up and moving out. Just sort of the American ritual of watching football every Sunday. It's a lot of fun. So sometimes you get into things that you didn't think you'd be interested in.